Hello guys, can you hear me? Please somebody confirm if you hear me right now. I'm seeing myself. Okay, awesome. Awesome, thank you. Okay, shall we start or shall we wait a little bit more till the rest of you join as well? I mean, till the other contestants. Okay, maybe it's better if you start right away so that you don't have to wait anymore. Okay. Tell me a little bit, how was the contest for you? Was it good? Did you like the problems? You were in top 20 in 10 minutes. Wow. Awesome. D took a lot of time, right? So far. Yeah, I also solved all 7, but I did it in a bad way. I was too slow. I mean, I started a few minutes late, but that was only a few minutes. That was 2 or 3 minutes late. But I was too slow. I wasn't in good shape. So, anyway, D was difficult. D, product of binary decimals. Oh, D is a beautiful DP problem. I will discuss that with you. If you use DP, that problem is not hard. And E is also somehow okay. I will talk about that as well. You know, the good news is that most of the problems, I think even the last one, maybe only the last one needed a little bit of knowledge, but the rest of them didn't need any complicated data structures or anything. It was just enough to do problem solving in order to solve them. Maybe only the last one. For the last one, you needed to know bitmask because n was up to 20, n was up to 16 to be precise, and it needed something named bitmask. But the rest of them did not use any complicated data structures, so you can understand them all. Okay. How much on an average programmer solve in this contest? Well, it depends. If you mean how much a median would solve, I mean the median of people, you know, the number of people who participated is 32,000, 33,000. But if you assume 32,000, the median is gonna be 16,000, is gonna be somewhere like here, and has solved 3 problems. So the median has solved 3 problems. If we take the person in the middle of the ranking, has solved 3 problems. But, you know, it depends on how you define it. You can see that from 32,000 people, 30,000 people solved A, 22,000 people solved B, 25,000 people solved C. It's interesting that C had more solutions than B. 1,100 people solved D, 5,000 E, 2,000 F, and 800 G. Okay, so I think now many people have joined and maybe we can start discussing the problems. Shall we? Are you ready for it? No need for DP in D. You can brute force the solution by dividing across. Yeah, you can do that as well, because the constraints are too small. But DP is, for me at least, DP was a lot simpler. So we will talk about it. Okay, the first problem. You are given 3 digits A, B, and C. Determine whether they form a stair, a peak, or neither. Well, this problem is very simple. You should just check it's some if. If A is less than B less than C, then it is a stair. If A is less than B and B is greater than C, then it is a peak. Otherwise, like this, is none. And this is just a simple if. This is basic C++. Okay, so in order to solve problem A, you just need to know basic C++, how to use if, etc. And if you want, maybe I make videos explaining the basic C++, but there are already, I think, a lot of videos explaining that. So you just check if A is less than B and B is less than C, C out stair. If A is less than B and B is greater than C, C out peak. I'll see up now. Shall we move on to problem B? Or does anyone has a question about A? Does anyone have question from A? How many questions should an expert solve in this contest? Well, I think the standing gives you enough data about it. Maybe first, if I want to guess, well, I will guess that an expert would solve 4 or 5 problems, I guess. But let's see. Let's consider, for example, this rate. For example, this rate is greater than C. I mean, worse than C. Worse than expert. Because you see that only one expert is here, and mostly people are pupil and newbie, etc. So if we test this one, we're kind of doing binary searching here. If we see this rate, this is in average experts. Okay, an expert solves 6 problems. So you see that, for example, this page is mostly, the average of people are experts. There are some candidate masters, some experts. So, yeah, I underestimated the experts. So an expert would solve 6, not 4 or 5. Okay, so let's talk about B without keep you waiting more. Problem B is again a simple C++ problem. You are given an n. You should output a 2n by 2n checkerboard, such that it forms like this. I mean, if it was n by n, it was very easier. You could just have a 4 to n and another 4 to n, and just say that if I plus j modulo 2 was 0, cout hashtag. If it was modulo 2, it was 1, cout dots. So for example, the cell number 0 and 0 is going to be hashtag, 0 and 1 is going to be dot, 0 and 2 is going to be hashtag, 0 and 3 is going to be dots, etc. So you just have a for I from 0 to n minus 1 and for j from 0 to n minus 1. And if the sum of them was odd, you see out dots. If the sum of them was even, you see out hashtag. This one is a little more difficult, and it has 2 by 2s instead of 1 by 1s. Well, this is kind of easy as well, because again I can have a 4 to n, but each time I see out 2 characters. This way I deal with this dimension, this horizontal dimension, to have 2 letters. And also I have 2 4s in here to deal with the vertical duplication, to have to print 2 of them for each of them. So I have a 4 from 0 to n, and I have 2 4s, and I can say that if I plus j with modulo 2 was 1, cout dots, and if you see there are 2 dots, that's because we have 2 dots in each row. And if you see that we have 2 4s, because there are 2 such rows. Okay. Is it okay? So this is a very simple problem. You could also use 2-dimensional arrays and then have a 4 on them, and that would be also okay. So this one is also Okay. Yeah, that would also work. I could have an array and just have a 4 from 0 to n. Maybe let me write it. That would be a good way as well. I could have a 4 from 0 to n and a 4j from 0 to n, and just say that, for example, if I have a table, if I have a grid, I show it with a. I say that a of 2i and 2j is equal to either dot or hashtag based on the sum of the parity of the sum of I and j, and also a of 2i plus 1 and 2j, and a of 2i and 2j plus 1, and a of 2i plus 1 and 2j plus 1. So all of them would work. All of them are completely okay. This would also work. I didn't code it in a clean way. If I wanted to code it in a clean way, I would do this. But I was just trying to solve it as fast as possible because I was in the contest, so I did it like this. But this would also work. Okay. I stream in the middle of contest. No, you shouldn't do. Of course, it is against the rules of Codeforces to stream the contest while contest is running. This is cheat. This is considered as cheat. So don't do that. You might get banned from CF by doing that. Okay, shall we move on to problem C? How to improve maths? Well, there's a good answer in the chat. Practice. Well, that's a very good answer. You know, in my interview with Omnik, I talk a lot about this, and I invite all of you to watch that. I invite all of you to watch the interview with Omnik. I talk a lot about that, but basically you have to solve many problems if you want to improve. Basically, that's what you should do. Okay, move on to C or continue. Please see my solution. Can you send the link to your solution? I will do what the most of you want. If the most of you want me to move on to the problem C, we can move on to C. Otherwise, we can stay on problem B. This interview is not released yet, so it will be released later. I mean, maybe I will release the trailer very soon, and the interview would be there a few days later. Maybe tomorrow or maybe even today I will release the trailer of the interview. Okay, problem C. Because most of you want me to move on, I don't want to keep you waited, and I have to move on to C. But if you want, you can stay until the end of the live stream, and I will check your solution. So this problem, clock conversion, is saying that you are given the current time in the 24 hours formats, and you want to print it in a 12-hour format. So how can we do this? This one, again, does not need algorithms or anything. Again, this is implementation using C++, and it hasn't have any important idea. You can just say that, well, the minutes does not change. So I only care about the hour, and the hour is s of 0 minus 0 times 10 plus s of 1 minus 0. If it was greater than or equal to 12, then I have PM, otherwise I have AM. And if it was 0, I should make it 12. If it was greater than 12, I should subtract 12 from it. Then s of 0 is equal to 0 plus time divided by 10. I mean hour divided by 10. S of 1 turns into 0 plus hour modulo 10. And then I should add AM or PM to it and just see out this. That's it. Okay, shall we move on to the next problem? Are you okay with this one? Move to G. Well, wait a little bit more and we will get there. I have to tell you the solution of all of the problems because there are some people who want it, but I try to tell these easier problems faster. So the next one, let's call a number a binary decimal if it is a positive integer and all digits in its decimal notation are either 0 or 1. You are given a number n and you are asked whether or not it is possible to represent n as a product of some not necessarily distinct binary decimals. Okay. So this problem, as I said, is a simple dp. I can just have dp of I. You know, when I see this problem, the first thing that comes to my mind is seeing that n is up to 10 to the power of 5. Well, this is important. Why n is not up to 10 to the power of 9 or 10 to the power of 18? Maybe I can use the fact that n is up to 10 to the power of 5. Well, when n is up to 10 to the power of 5, it means that I can maybe save all of the results. I mean, before getting the numbers n, we can just save for each possible number. There are 10 to the power of 5 different possible n's. For each one of them, I can save whether or not it is possible to write them as the product of several binary decimals. Okay, so I just try to do that. dp of I is true if and only if I can write I as the product of some binary decimals. Okay, and how do I calculate that? I just save all the binary decimals is 1, 10, 11, 100, 101, 110. I forgot to write 100, 101, 110, and so on. Okay, I just keep all these binary decimals, and when I reach some value x, I have a 4 on all of these binary decimals. I say that if x is divisible by this binary decimal, I say that dp of I is gonna be true if dp of x is gonna be true if dp of x divided that binary decimal is true. Okay, so if x modulo that binary decimal was 0, then if dp of x divided by b is true, then dp of x is also true. Right? Why 1111? Saving up to 1111 is enough for D. Yeah, I agree. I think I agree. You're not gonna use numbers greater than them, but it doesn't matter, really. I mean, anyways, we're gonna just calculate some of these values, and it's easy. We will get into the code and see that these will be calculated easily, all these binary decimals, and then I can update the dp easily as well. So in my code is only this short code. I have a vector bd. These are all the binary decimals. Okay, first I push back 1 to my binary decimal. I don't write them one by one by hand. I mean, because I don't have to. I just calculate them in my code. I just say that bd.pushback 1, and then I say that if 10 times bd, 10 times binary decimal of I was greater than or equal to n, my max n, then continue. I mean, it doesn't matter. I could also say break. It doesn't matter. Otherwise, bd.pushback 10 times bd of I, bd.pushback 10 times bd of I plus 1. Okay, so what it does is that first, I have only 1 in it. And then I start from the beginning, from 1, I push back 10 and 11. 1 times 10 and 1 times 10 plus 1. From 10, I push back 100 and 101. From 11, I will push back 110 and 111. And so on. This way I calculate all the possible necessary binary decimals. So I can this way calculate all of them, all the ones that are possibly useful for me. Maybe some of them, the last ones, are big enough so that they're not useful, but it doesn't matter. I mean, they won't harm my code. Then I say that first dp of 1 is 1. 1 is true. The answer for 1 is yes. And then I say that for each I from 2 to max n, I have a 4 on all the binary decimals, and if I modulo x was 0, I just say that dp of I or equal to dp of I divided by x. This or equal to just means that if I dp of I divided by x was 1, this one becomes 1 as well. If this one was true, this one becomes true as well. Okay. So I say that if I modulo x was 0, dp of I or equal to dp of I divided by x. And my queries are very simple. I have calculated everything. So I just see in n and I see out if dp of n was 1, see out yes, otherwise no. So that's all. Size of array is changing without its mess up for loop. Yes, size of this vector will change, and this is what exactly I want. I want it to change. Initially the size is 1, but I want to move on as it changes. I mean, for example, when I push back 10 and 11, it becomes 3. And I want to go to this new size. I want I to go all the way to this new size. So when it turns into 3, I want it to also check 1 and 2. And it changed, and I want it to change. Otherwise, I had to save it. I have to save the initial size and have a 4 to that saved number. But here I want it to change. I want to check everything that I ever push back. Okay. So I want it to change. I'm taking all the binary decimals div by 10 will make it even faster. Oh, right. So what you're saying is that the decimals that are divisible by 10 are not useful because I can just skip them. For example, 100 is not useful because even if 100 is not there, I can use 2 tens. Or 110 is not useful because I can have it as 11 times 10. Yes, the binary decimals that their last digit is 0, or in other words, they are divisible by 10, are not useful, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I can use them as well. It doesn't make my time bad. Okay, dp of I or equal to dp of I divided by x just means that if dp of I divided by x is 1, this one becomes 1 as well. You know, or is like this, or that line, this line that you see, this vertical line is or. And or just means that if we have two things, both of them are false, or of them will be false. If one of them is true or both of them are true, then the or of them is true. Okay, this is or. It means that when we have two variables, x and y, and both of them are true or false, x or y is gonna be true if at least one of them are true. Okay, so dp of I or equal to dp of I divided by x means that dp of I is equal to dp of I or dp of I divided by x. So it means that dp of I will be true if and only if it is either already true or dp of I divided by x is true. Right? So it just means that. Is that okay now? This is problem, which problem is PC? No, sorry, D. This is problem D, sorry. Two factors, I and I divided by x. Yes, because the other values are, you know, dp of I, the current dp of I is only, the current dp of I is only, I mean, it has saved all the previous possibilities. I mean, dp of I is something right now, and I'm just take this I divided by x into consideration as well. For example, if x is divisible by 10 and also divisible by 11 and also divisible by 111, I have to consider x divided by 10, x divided by 11, and x divided by 111. I have to consider all this. But each time dp of x will be or equal to one of them. And if one of them are one of them are true, at that point dp of I will become true, and from there it will always remain true. So dp of I, the first time that it becomes true, it remains true forever. So when I just consider dp of I and dp of I divided by x, because I check all the x's, then it will consider all the possible divisors of I. Okay. Okay. Move on to E or talk about D more. Sorry, someone, I don't know why, called me. Shall we move on to E? Okay, move on to E. So this problem is just saying that you have to find the shortest. You are given a string. You are given a string, and you have to find the smallest value of k. We check each x essentially. Yes. For each I, we check all the possible x's in problem D. Yes. I don't understand what you're saying, Himanshu and Path Sala. I don't know in which language you're talking. Or because, you know, if I divided by x was true, I becomes true as well. So this is a or. I will explain it again at the end of the live stream, so you can stay until then and I will explain that again. So right now, because many people want me to explain E, I will talk about E and then I will explain that again. So in this problem, you have to find the shortest string k. You are given a string, you have to find the shortest string k if such that if you concatenate many repetitions of k, it would be almost equal to your string. And by almost equal to, it means that it should be differ with your string only in one character. So you want to have the smallest possible period, the smallest possible string, such that if you repeat it, keep repeating it, only in at most one character, it would be different with your string. For example, here you have ABAA, sorry. You have ABAA in your first example. Well, if you consider k as a string A, if your k is a string A, then this string is the repetition of string A, and obviously n should be divisible by k. Okay, you have to, n should be divisible by the length of the k. Okay, so if you do this, only in one letter they are different. Only in one character they will be different. So that is gonna be okay. So the answer to this one is 1. I can only consider A. But for this one, ABBA, then there's nothing I can do. I mean, A cannot be that because the repetition of A has 2 differences with ABBA. And it cannot be even AB because again it has 2 differences with AB. So I have to take all the 4 characters. In this one I also have to consider all the 13 characters, but in this one my string k can be HA. So if I repeat HA 4 times, only in this character there would be difference, so there would be at most 1 difference. So I have to find the shortest string k such that if I keep repeating it, the size of n is divisible by size of k, and if I repeat this string k, n divided by the length of k times, then it would differ with my string at most once. Okay. So in this problem, again, the main thing that you should consider is that the number of divisors of a number is not a lot. Well, it can be shown that for the values, for the small values that you encounter in problems like in Codeforces, in the numbers that you encounter with, you can say that the number of divisors is at most a square root of n of a square root of n with base 3. O of this, not at most this. It would be of O of this. So for example, you can say that 10 to the power of 6 has O of 10 to the power of 6, 3 on base 3. Divisors, so it's gonna be around 100. Okay, a constant times 100. Okay, what I'm writing in here is O of 1 because I'm using numbers in here, so don't confuse this. I just mean that for any n, if n, for example, is 10 to the power of 6, I'm gonna have O of root of n in the base of 3, the cubed roots of n in the base 3 divisors. I'm gonna have this much divisors. I mean, why I have this, it doesn't matter for now. Okay, so I just keep this in mind. This is something that if you want, I can tell you why it is a square root of n. But it is also possible to prove that it is from O of a square root of n in the base of 3 and even in more bases. But that is not also important as well for now. And the only thing you should consider is that in the numbers that you encounter with, you can assume that the number of divisors is around this. Okay, the number of divisors is around this. You can always consider that. There are some proofs for this and for other bases as well, but it doesn't matter for now. But the proof for a square root of n is straightforward. I mean, it's easy to prove that it is at most a square root of n, or of a square root of n. I can just simply say that if I have some number n, if it has some divisor x, then if I consider x and n divided by x, I can make them pairs. You know, I mean, all the divisors of n can form some pairs. Okay, for example, if I have 24, my pairs are gonna be 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, and that's it. These are my pairs. I have 8 divisors and these are my pairs. Okay, so I can say that the divisors of a number form some pairs, and maybe only in one pair both numbers will be equal. If that number is a square number, I can say that, for example, in here I have 1 and 9 and only 3 is with itself. A square root of n will be with itself. I mean, x is gonna be equal to n divided by x if and only if x is equal to a square root of n. But anyways, I'm saying that I will have this many pairs, and each pair has 2 numbers. Each pair has 2 numbers, right? Each pair has 2 numbers, and the first number is always less than or equal to a square root of n, because it will be multiplied by a number greater than itself. So if itself is greater than a square root of n, then it will also be multiplied by a number greater than itself, so that one is also greater than a square root of n, so it will be greater than n, which is a contradiction. So if I show n as some x times y, and I know that x is less than y, x and y are going to be a pair, I want to say that the smaller one, x, is going to be at most a square root of n. And it is obvious, because if x was greater than a square root of n, then y also would be greater than a square root of n, because y is greater than or equal to x. So both of them are greater than a square root of n, is strictly greater than a square root of n, so the product is going to be greater than n. Okay, which is a contradiction. So I can say that the divisors of a number form some pairs, and in each pair the smallest number is at most a square root of n. Therefore, I have at most 2 times a square root of n divisors. Is that clear? Put a plus in the chat if you're okay with that. So this is a proof for 2 times the square root of n. And there is also more complicated proof for other bases, but you can for now just assume that the number of divisors of number n is root of n in the base 3. Okay, awesome. So let's I will answer you, Gamero. So if you want, you can also watch this video later on and again watch the proof that I said for having atmos square root of n divisors. So I know that each number has around a root of n in the base of 3 divisors. So it would have around 100 divisors, for example, each number. So the whole idea is that I use brute force, and for each n, I will brute force over all possible x's such that n is divisible by x. I will brute force over all of them. I know that they are from O of root of n in the base 3. Okay. So it is gonna be around 100, for example. Is about that, the order. Okay, this Wasif is saying that it's exactly 128. So anyways, so this is not a lot. If you have this intuition, you will see that it's not a lot. You will see that the number of possible divisors is not a lot. That's the only thing that you need in this problem. Just knowing this. This doesn't have a lot of divisors. So I can brute force over all of them. First, I save all the divisors. And this is something that maybe I have to make a video and explain it. This is the sieve of Eratosthenes. And I just have a first 4 from 1 to this max n that I have. And the second one is from I to max n again. And each time I add j by I. I add I to j so that I have a 4 on all of the multiples of I, and I push back I into their divisors. So I have just 2 4s. The first 4 is on all the numbers. The second 4 is on, again, all the numbers, but only the multiples of I. It starts from I, and each time I add it by I. And in the divisors of j, I will push back I. This can be shown that the time complexity, it can be shown that the time complexity of this is O of n log n. Is even theta of log n log n. So it means both O of n log n and omega of n log n. But again, this is not my topic right now. Again, I'm just calculating all the divisors of a number. I will explain this in a video as well. I have to explain this. Okay, so I keep all the divisors for each number. This is what I do. This is the way I do it. And then when I receive n, you can also calculate the divisors in other ways as well. But I did it like this. And I will also explain how to calculate it in another ways later. I will make a video about that. But anyways, I have a 4 on all the divisors of x. And then I say that now I have to fix the string of that length. The string of length x. I have to fix that. What is that string? I say that there are 2 possibilities. Either it is the first x letters of s dot substr of 0 and x. It means it's starting from 0 and the length is x. Or it is the next x characters. So either it is the first x characters or the second x characters. S dot substr of x and x, starting from s, x, and having the length x. Okay. So I have to calculate these. I mean, consider these 2. I'm saying that this should be exactly one of these 2 because the k that I choose should be exactly equal to one of these 2. If it is not exactly equal to both of these 2, it means that there is at least one difference in here and at least one difference in here. So in total, it would be at least 2 differences. So if k is going to work, it should be either equal to the first x characters or the second x characters. If it's not equal to both, then obviously it has at least 2 differences. So I will just check these 2. For each of them, I just check it. I define my p like this. First, the first x characters, I make the t, and I calculate the difference between s and t in here. And if it was less than or equal to 1, see out x break. And I'll do the same thing for the other one, otherwise, and I'll do break. And I shouldn't worry about if x was equal to n, I shouldn't do this. If x is equal to n, I will break in here. So anyways, this is what I do. I fix all the x's, I fix that whether it's the first x characters or the second x characters, and then I will just compare it with s and see if it works. So all I'm doing is brute force. Just a little bit of algorithmic thinking behind it, but still is brute force. Okay. Why not 0x and 1x plus 1? Because if the length of k is x, if I put many k's right after each other, you know, this is gonna be my first k and this is gonna be my second k. So the second k starts from letter number x. The first one starts from letter number 0. The second one starts from letter number x, right? The first one starts from 0, but the second one starts from x. I mean, this. If I start from this, I start from here. It has no correlation with my string k, right? So I'm just saying that, you know, what was my proof? My proof was that when I concatenate this case, one case should be matched with here and one case should be matched with here. Only one of these two can have a difference. So k should be exactly equal to one of them. Right? This was my proof. But I cannot say the same thing for this here, because k should not be matched with this substring. But for both of these two substrings, k should be matched to them. Tutorial had suffix and prefix. That would also work. There's no difference. It just matters if you take two substrings of length k such that they are completely matched with k. So there are so many blocks of k, you can take any two blocks. Okay. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. I'm also late a little bit as well. I have to go to the university. So let's talk about the next one. Well, this wants you to find the minimum height of a rooted tree with a plus b plus c vertices that satisfies the following conditions. A vertices have exactly two children, B vertices have exactly one child, and C vertices have exactly 0 children. And if no such tree exists, you should report it. First, let's try to find out what do you think is the time complexity of problem E? The time complexity of it is a square root of n t times a square root of n, root of n in the base 3 times n. And it's not t times that, because n is in total is 2 times 10 to the power of 5. It is gonna be n max n, the sum of all the n's, times a square root of n in the base 3. This is gonna be my time complexity, because I know that the sum of all n's over all test case is 2 times 10 to the 5th. And s dot substr of x and x, s dot substr takes two elements, the length and the starting point. So the first one is the starting point, which is x, and the second one is length. So it means if I start from x and my length is x. This one is if I start from 0 and my length is x. Okay? Is that okay? Well, thank you. What's if? It means a lot. Okay, so let's move on to problem E again, F again. So in this problem, first I have to check if my answer is -1, right? I have to check if my answer is -1. So, in which course you're enrolled in? I will explain everything. I mean, maybe in 3 or 4 months, I will explain every important topic in competitive programming in this YouTube channel. So, if you want, you can just subscribe to this channel and follow everything that I will cover in here. Okay. Uni course, I will talk about that later. I have 2 courses, both of them are algorithmic, but right now I have teacher assistant responsibilities. So anyways, let's talk about the solution of this one, because many people want this right now. We have A vertices with 2 children. So the first thing that I want to argue is that first I see this problem. I will look at the samples and I see that when it is -1. For example, one case, you know, this is the way that I approach such a problem. This is exactly what I did when I saw this problem. I'm seeing that which ones are -1. For example, I see that the 5th one is -1, 1, 1, 3. It's not possible to have one vertex with 2 children, one with 1 child, and then three vertices with no children, or 3 leaves. In other words, the vertices with no children in a rooted tree are known as leaves. We call them leaves, a leaf or the leaves. So these are the leaves. It's not possible to have 3 leaves when we have one vertex with 2 children and one vertex with 1 child. It definitely should have two leaves. If we have only one vertex with 2 children and one vertex with 1 child, anyways, it should have exactly 2 leaves. Well, what I say is that, okay, this one is -1. Also this one, 24, 36, and 48 is -1, and 100 is also -1. Okay. So what I'm saying is that if you see a vertex that has only 1 child does not have any effect on the number of leaves. I'm saying that this vertex was in a branch. I mean the branches under this vertex. It does not increase anything. I mean, okay, we have a tree like this. One vertex has degree 2 and one vertex has degree 1. This vertex does not increase the number of branches because it was 1 leaf before adding this child, and after adding this child, this one is not a leaf anymore, and this one is instead a leaf. So if a vertex has only 1 child, it doesn't add any leaf. Okay, but if a vertex has 2 children, it will add exactly 1 leaf. So when I add, for example, this vertex, I want to add its 2 children. Currently, itself is a leaf, but after adding the 2 children, these two vertices will be leaves. And this one is not a leaf anymore. So the number of leaves will be increased by 1. So all I'm saying is that every vertex with 2 children will increase the number of leaves by 1. Initially, we have only 1 leaf when we have one alone vertex, one isolated vertex. We have only 1 leaf. When we add 1 child to a vertex, the number of branches won't change. But when we add 2 children to a vertex, the number of branches will be increased by 1. Then again, when I add 1 child to this vertex, the number of leaves won't change. When I add 2 children to this vertex, the number of leaves will be increased by 1. These 2 will be leaves, this one is not a leaf anymore. So the main point is this: by adding each vertex with 2 children, the number of leaves will be increased by 1. And initially the number of leaves is only 1. That means that the number of leaves C finally has to be 1 plus A, because it's initially 1, and any vertex with 2 children will add one leaf to it, right? So that's the point, that's the condition that we should have. The number of children should be 1 plus A, or A plus 1. Okay. So I haven't followed your topics because I was explaining. I will read them after this. So, and as you can see in here, the test cases which are -1 like this are the test cases that A plus 1 is not C. Here 1 plus 1 is not 3. 24 plus 1 is not 48. And 1 plus 1 is not 0. So these doesn't make sense. But the rest of them, let me zoom in. For the rest of them, for example, let me move this. For example, for this one, A plus 1 is C. For this one, A plus 1 is C. 0 plus 1 is 1. This one, 0 plus 1 is 1. This one, 1 plus 1 is 2. This one, 1 plus 1 is not 3, so this is -1. This one, 3 plus 1 is 4. This one, 8 plus 1 is 9. This one, 24 plus 1 is not 48, so this is -1. This one, 1 plus 1 is not 0, so this is -1. And this one, 0 plus 1 is 1. So that's the main thing. Okay. A plus 1 should be equal to C. Is that okay? Did you understand it? If you understood, put a plus, otherwise put a minus. If you have any questions, say that. I will read your comments now, and I will continue after that, after you ask your questions. Well, I do not necessarily believe in natural sailing. I kind of believe that talent in some areas is important, and it's important for people to find their passion and their talent. For example, maybe if tourists wants to become a football player, he can never be a good football player as much as Messi. And if Messi wanted to be a competitive programmer, he could never be a good competitive programmer as much as tourists. So I believe that people have different talents, and talent exists to some extent. And people should find that. It's not like we can ignore that. But I'm not saying that that's a lot. I don't believe that it's natural saying and people cannot grow over some place. I believe that with enough training, people can become grandmaster. If they just focus on this and work a lot. I personally think like this, but I'm not like no, talent does not exist and only is hard work, etc. No, I definitely believe that tourists can never be a good football player as much as Messi, and Messi could never be a good competitive programmer as much as tourist. So okay, I will make a video about them. I have a child, then if I have a child, then I will be parents and not live. I will share some books. Yeah, I will talk about that as well. So I will talk about all of this, but let me continue explaining this. How old do you think I am? How old? What do you guess is my age? I once answered it in one of the live streams. So as I said, because no one has a question about it, I will continue this. I know that C should be 1 plus A. So everybody accepted this. Okay. So And I'm saying that if it's like that, this is always possible. I don't need to worry about the leaves. Leaves will be okay. Because leaves, I prove that leaves are always 1 plus a. I mean 1 plus the number of vertices with 2 children. It always happens. So, am I connected right now? Let me check my connection. I lost myself in here. Okay, I'm connected. So, anyways, C is equal to 1 plus a. It should be equal to 1 plus a. So the number of leaves should be equal to the number of vertices with 2 children. So that's okay. I mean, leaves are okay. I don't need to care about this anymore. This has no effect on. Automatically, the number of leaves would be that. But about the other vertices, first, I want to put as much as possible. I want to put as much as possible vertices with 2 children, and then after that I will put vertices with 1 child. Okay, I just keep adding this. First, I add vertices with 2 children as much as I can, and then I will add vertices with 1 child. And what do I do that? Why I prefer to first add vertices with 2 children and then the vertices with 1 child? Why do I want to do that? Well, the main reason is that because I want the next layer to have as many spaces as possible. So I want the next level to have as much as a spot as possible, as much as a space as it's possible, right? So that's the main thing. So I will try to add many vertices with 2 children so that the next layer will have more vertices, so that I can put more vertices in the smaller heights, right? Is that okay? I'm just trying to also bring the live stream in my phone. That's why I keep looking in here. Sorry for that. So yeah, I'm 23. I once said there are a lot of variance in what you said. 27 to 18. No, I'm 23. Yeah, I'm going to participate in ICBC NAC North America Championship. All the universities from the USA and from Canada will participate in that, and the top teams will qualify to the World Finals. So the next round for us is NAC, and I think we have a good chance to qualify to the World Final. But we have very good rivals. For example, the MIT team is very strong. There are 3 legendary grandmasters, and it's really hard to compete with them. But anyways, yeah. How do you like USA so far? It is good. I liked it so far. It is good. I enjoyed my university and living here so far. But I will explain more. I will talk more about it at the end. Thank you very much, Ahmed. Thank you very much. It means a lot. Okay, so as I said, I want to add the vertices with 2 children at first in order to have more spots in the next layer. This is the intuition behind it. I want to have more spots in the next layer so that I can put many vertices there. Because if I first add the vertices with 1 child, I just keep going to the next heights and the next height and the next height, and then I'm gonna add vertices with 2 children. So I will lose many layers. I don't want to do that. I don't want to lose the possible spots. So I will have vertices with 2 children first, as much as I can, so that the next levels have more spots for me to put more vertices. Okay, you can simply see that if you first add the vertices with 1 child and then add the vertices with 2 children, that would be very awful for what you want. You want to minimize the heights, but that would be awful because you will lose many heights. But this way, you will see that your answer, first you keep increasing the size of the layers, and then you can put many vertices there. So that makes more sense to add the vertices with 2 children first, and then add the vertices with 1 child, and at the end all the remaining vertices have 0 children. They are all leaves. Okay, so this is how it works. So, and that's what I did. First, I said that if c is not equal to a plus 1, c at minus 1, we're done. The answer is no. Otherwise, start from height 0. Height 0 means the distance 0 from roots. I have exactly one vertex at height 0, right? H or height is 0. I have exactly 1, 0. I can say that while I'm just adding vertices with 2 children, at height h, I have 2 to the power of h vertices. Okay, at height h, I have 2 to the power of h vertices, right? So I say that while a was greater than or equal to 2 to the power of h, subtract 2 to the power of h from a and increase h by 1. Just keep doing that. Okay, so for example, if it is 5, if there are 5 vertices with 2 children, first, in the first layer, I will put 1. Then this one becomes 4 and h becomes 1. Then I put 2 in the next level. Then my height will be 2 and I will have 2 remaining vertices with 2 children. And here we see that 2 is not greater than or equal to 4, so I'm done. In the next level, I cannot have all of them as vertices with 2 children. The next level does not only contain the vertices with 2 children. So in here, I just say that if a and b were both 0, both of them became 0, I just see out the current h and I know the answer. I mean, if I don't have any a or b anymore, then this is the answer. I mean, the current h is the answer. Okay. Otherwise, if a plus b was greater than or equal to 2 to the h, there are 2 cases. Either a plus b, the remaining a plus b was greater than or equal to 2 to the power of h. What does it mean? It means that they can fill all the vertices in these heights. I mean, all of them are the vertices which have 2 children or 1 child, right? So I can fill all of them, right? So if it didn't happen, if a plus b was not greater than or equal to 2 to the h, then I can simply see out h plus 1 and continue. Because I can say that, okay, I will put the remaining ones with 1 child or 2 children and my final height is going to be h plus 1 and I can continue. Otherwise, I have a of them with 2 children. As I said, again, my preference is to put vertices with 2 children first. And then the rest of them, the rest of the vertices in this layer should have 1 child. So the rest of them have 1 child. This many will have 1 child, so I should subtract this from b. And then from now on, in each layer, the number of vertices is fixed. I don't have any vertex with 2 children anymore. So each vertex has only 1 child from now on. So the number of spots in each layer remains the same. So I should just calculate the sale of division of b over c. I know that in each level, I will have exactly c vertices right now, because from now on, the number of leaves will not change at all. Each vertex has only 1 child, and I will have c spots at each height. So my answer is going to be, I have to continue. I have to have the sale of b over c more vertices, and b plus c minus 1 over c means the sale of division of b over c. And then I see out h plus k, and that's all. Does this make sense for you? Shall we move on to the next one, or shall we talk more about this one? Well, I have solved a lot of questions of trees and next one, but can't solve this. Please tell me, how can I find the questions of this topic? I had planned to cover 3 problems as well, but maybe for now what can help you is to go to Codeforces problem sets. Codeforces problems are typically more advanced compared to LeetCode problems. And you can just, in here, just choose all the 3 related topics. For example, you can choose trees in here. And if you want, you can also choose other topics. For example, you can also choose DFS and similar as well, if you want. So you can choose some of the topics and then apply this filter, and it will give you all the problems with those topics. and then you can sort them by difficulty and find the range that you want to solve problems from them, and then start solving many problems from them. Okay. My approach was to make a complete binary tree by yielding all the vertices with 2 children. I will iterate from left to right and all the vertices with 1 children, and then all the nodes with wedges. Yes, that's kind of my solution as well. Yeah, that was my solution as well, kind of. But the only difference is that in that height also there might be some other vertices with that height. In this height, in the last height, there might be some vertices with 2 children left. So the first ones should have still 2 children, and the rest of them will have 1 child. But yes, the main point is to first add all the vertices with 2 children, so it's going to be a complete binary tree, and then after that, we will add vertices with 1 child. Explain 1 shift H. Yeah, that's a good question. 1 shift H, these 2 less than signs, and then H is 2 to the power of H. This is 2 to the power of H. So as I said, I compared first my A with 2 to the power of H, and then A plus B with 2 to the power of H. Okay. So 1 shift H means 2 to the power of H. Is that okay? Explain the second if statement. Do you mean this one? Because there's an if here as well. This one or this one? I guess you asked this one. In here, I'm just checking if the vertices with 1 or 2 children, with 1 and 2 children, can fill all the vertices in this layer. I mean, I have this last layer with 2 children, and I see that if all the vertices with 1 or 2 children will cover all the vertices in here or not. If they don't, then I'm done. My answer is H plus 1, because some of these will have 2 children, some will have 1, and then I will finish all the vertices with 1 or 2 children. So if they're not enough to cover all the vertices in this layer, then I will be done, right? Otherwise, if this doesn't happen, I can say that in the next level, I mean, in this level, I will put vertices with 2 children as much as it remains in A, and the rest of them should have 1 child. And then from the next level, in each level, I'm gonna have C vertices. So I have to calculate the remaining value of B divided by C, the sale of this value. I will have this much more layers, and that's gonna be all. Okay. This is way better than 2 to the power of H. Try to never use that power function. Yes, in some places like this it would work, but try to never use that power function for many reasons. Well, one reason is that is a decimal number first, that is double, but we want to work with integers. And it would really cause bugs if you use that power function. So consider this as a rule of thumb. Don't use power function of C++. Just don't use that. I never use that. You never use that as well. That would be problematic in long term. Don't trust that function. Yes, it might sometimes work, but I never use that. For power of 3 and H, you don't use shift operation. You just calculate it. If it depends on the problem. But if I just want to calculate it once, I will have a 4. And if I want to calculate it many times, I might pre-process it. Or if it's not something to pre-process, I will define a power function by myself. That also, most of the time, I have to calculate its modulo some mode. I will also have my mode, consider my mode there. Yes, I can have binary exponential. Okay, so is this problem okay now? Shall we move on to G or not? Yeah, sure. So let's move on to problem G, shuffling songs. Well, in this problem, I want to tell you an interesting thing about this problem. I want to tell you about one of my mistakes. I made a mistake on this problem, and that made me wait. This is one of the problems that I performed badly in them. I solved it late. It took me, let me see. It took me 23 minutes to solve this, but I could solve it way faster. For example, you see that in here, many people have solved it way faster than me. I will tell you about my mistake on this problem. So, in this problem, you have some songs. Each song has a genre and an author, an artist. Okay. So, for example, this song is pop and its singer is Taylor Swift. This one is electronic. This one, for example, is pop. This one is pop. This one is rap. This one is rap and its singer is Eminem. This one is rap and its singer is Dr. Dre, and so on. Okay. So you want to make a playlist out of these songs such that each two consecutive songs either have the same genre or have the same artist. So each two consecutive songs should either share their artist, their singer, or their genre. For example, you cannot first, for example, play a rap music from Eminem and then play a pop music from Taylor Swift. That is not acceptable. So each two consecutive ones should either have same genre or same artist in this problem. Okay? And now you want to find out that what is the maximum size of a playlist that you can have, if you can have each song only once in your playlist. Well, the problem wants the minimum number of removals, the minimum number of songs that you have to remove. So it's n minus the biggest possible size for the playlist. But anyway, I tried to calculate the biggest possible size for the playlist, and I just did cout n minus that's largest possible playlist. And in order to do that, my name is very Indian. Are you from India or your parents? No. Shayan is a Persian name. I'm from Iran. And Shayan is a common name in Iran. It means being competent. It's interesting if also in India Shayan exists. I think Jahan also has meaning in India. Jahan in Persian means the word. I guess also in India it means the word. And even Chash in Persian means eye. I think that one also in India means eye. So that's interesting that we have these common words. Okay, anyways. So what I did in this problem, first I made a matrix. My matrix in cell I, and J, my matrix is either G of I should be equal to G of J or W of I should be equal to W of J. It means that either genre should be equal or the writer should be equal. Okay, the artist should be equal. So it just means that if these two can be after each other. First, I just calculate this, and I will gonna use this. Well, from these points, after just calculating that, the main thing, my main mistake, when you see this problem, the first thing that you should see is this. This is very important. And even this sentence kind of is telling you what you should do. n is up to 16. First, when I read this problem, I didn't consider the fact that n is at most 16. I didn't see that. I was assuming that n can be too large, and I was thinking about this problem, and it sounded hard for me to solve this problem, and I saw that many people have solved it, and I haven't solved it yet, so it should be very easy. But why I'm not solving it? And I saw that n is at most 16. So that's a big lesson. Always consider these limits for n. N in here is up to 16. That's the first thing that should come to our mind, and it kind of tells us that what should be the solution. And also the next sentence, then it makes it obvious that what should be the solution. It says that the sum of 2 to the n over all test cases does not exist 2 to the 16. Okay. So it is kind of saying that in your time complexity you should have 2 to the n. It's okay to have 2 to the n in your time complexity. That's okay. You can use 2 to the n. Your solution can be exponential, and you can use 2 to the n. Okay. So that's the main thing that I didn't consider, and that was my big mistake. Anyways, in here we're gonna use something that is called bitmask. I'm not sure how many of you know about it, but this is something that you need to know in order to solve this problem. I just have a mask over all the possible subsets of these songs, and I just say that dp of mask and mask just shows a subset of the songs, and I means that if I considered all the songs in mask, and my last song that I played, the last song that I didn't remove, I might have removed some of the songs in my subsets. I might remove some of the songs from the subset. You can see Yashan is word in Urdu. Yeah, interesting. In Urdu. Urdu is the language in Pakistan, I think, right? Is it also spoken in India? I can solve these 800 rating problems. Can you give me any suggestion or roadmap to get into you guys level, such as experts as such? Well, first of all, I recommend you to watch my video about how to get out of newbie. The 5 things that you have to do to get out of newbie, and the 5 things that you don't have to do. Second, I invite you to watch all the interviews that I'm gonna have with the best competitive programmers, and they will also all talk about this, and you can hear from them. You can hear from people like Omnik and other great competitive programmers, maybe in future tourists, Radevush, and etc. You can hear from them what they tell you. Maybe don't listen only to me. Listen to the best ones in the world as well. And also, I have a DP playlist. I have a playlist on dynamic programming, and dynamic programming is one of the most important topics in Codeforces and in competitive program. That's why I preferred to first cover dynamic programming, because I believe that this is the most important one. Make sure to watch that one, understand the solutions, implement them, etc. That would help you massively. I will try to make this channel in a way that you can start from 0 and go to hero only by watching the videos in this channel. I want to cover everything, every topics. Maybe I need a few months in order to do that, but I want to cover all of them to be accessible and to be free. I want it to be free for everyone, so that everyone from any place of the world can easily just connect to the internet. If they can connect to the internet, they're gonna have access and they can watch it and learn from it. So I recommend you to do that, to watch these videos. I think that's gonna help you. I explained this as well. First, focus on your level. First, focus on implementation problems, brute force problems, math problems first. Then when you got into specialist, for example, when you got into specialist, you start dynamic programming. Wait until you get into specialist or something. A specialist or expert. If you're a specialist or you're expert, the best possible training for you is the dynamic programming. If you are below that, maybe implementation problems, brute force problems, math problems are better. So anyways, dp of mask and I means that I want to, I have considered all these subset of songs, and the last one that I played that I didn't remove, since I said that I might remove some of these in my mask. The last one that I played was I. So I just try to update this. I mean, the size of my dp is 2 to the n. The size of my dp is 2 to the n times n. This is the size of my array. All the possible subsets, which is 2 to the n, times the last element, which is n possible cases for that. So this says that in here, first, as I said, I calculate this matrix. Then first I set all the dp's equal to 0. Initially I said that, okay, no songs can be played. As I said, I want to calculate the maximum number of songs that I play, and at the end I see out n minus that value. Okay. Initially I just say that dp of 2 to the I and I will be 1. Okay, so I set dp of 2 to the I and I equal to 1. And then I have a for on mask, and then I have a for on the last song that I played. If mask and 2 to the I was not 1, if it was 0, it means that this dp is not valid, because I'm saying that I considered mask and the last playing song was I, but why I is not in the mask? That doesn't make sense. So this dp is not valid. I will continue if I was not part of a mask. And then I will have a for on the next song that I will consider. I say that if mask already has that song, then I cannot add this song anymore. Already mask has this song. Otherwise, my new mask is mask or 2 to the j. And then if mat of I and j, if in my matrix I and j was 1, it means that j can be played right after I. Then dp of n mask and j is equal to maximum of dp of n mask and j, maximum of itself, and dp of mask and I plus 1. So I can play j right after this, and then it will add one song to the songs that I will play, and dp of n mask and j will be dp of mask of I plus 1. And it should be maximum of itself as well, because maybe itself, its dp is greater than that already. And then I should also say that dp of n mask and I, this is when I remove j. So when I add j to the mask, either I play j, I play song j, this is if I play j, and this is if I remove j. This case is if I remove j. So playing j means that j should definitely be played after I. J should be possible to be played after I. So mat of I and j should be 1. Then dp of n mask and j is max equal to dp of mask and I plus 1. And if it is not gonna be played, it always is possible that I add j to my mask and I remove it from my songs. Then dp of n mask and I is max equal to dp of mask and I, right? So that's gonna be all. Is that okay? Is that clear? You get workshop on specific topics like attack greedy for our college competitive programming club. I would love to help you, but I'm not sure if I can do that. You can message me in Discord, and if I can do that, yes, sure, I will try to do that. Message me on Discord. You can join our Discord server. The link is in the YouTube channel. And you can join our Discord server, and then from there you will see my accounts. And yeah, definitely I will try to do this. I would love to help. And if I couldn't, I will try to help you in another way, in any other possible way. Okay, if I was able to solve till F, I recommend you to learn how to solve G, and in order to do that, you have to learn bitmask. And is it possible to walk through an example? Yeah, sure. What I'm saying is that, for example, I have a few songs. Let's consider the first sample. Let's consider the first sample. The second sample in here. I consider all the possible subsets. I have 4 songs, so I'm gonna have 2 to the 4th possible subsets. For each subset, I say that, okay, if I only consider this subset, for example, 1, 0, 1, 0 means that if I only consider these 2 songs, for example. If I only consider these 2 songs, what is my answer? I also keep that in my state. I also keep that what was the last song that I played. Okay, so it just means that if I consider this subset and the last song that I played, for example, it can be song number 0, for example. Okay, well, to be precise, it should be 0, 1, 0, 1 because this 0 means the third one. This 1 is the second one. This one is the one at index 1, and this one is the one at index 0. So it's, to be precise, 0, 1, 0, 1, because it should be this is the largest one and this is the smallest one, the least significant bits. Anyways, so this DP means that I have these subsets, and the last song that I played was song number 0. Okay, so I said that what is the maximum answer that I can have. For example, in this example is 2, because I can play both the songs. I can first play this one, and the first I play song number 2 and then song number 0, and then I will play both of them. But if I consider this CP 1, 0, 0, 1, it means I have 1 and 4th, and the second dimension is 0. It means that I will play these 2 songs, and the last one that I play will be song 0. Then I cannot play both 4 and 0. So I definitely have to remove 4. Because I also know that I have played 0. 0 was the last song that I played. So I played that. So in this case, my answer is 1. The only song that I play will be this first one. So this is how my DP works. This is the definition of my DP. It means that I fix some subset of the songs, and I keep that what was the last song that I kept, the last song that I played. And then each time I decide whether I want to add a new song. When I add a new song to the songs that I considered, either I play it or I skip it. I just check that. If I want to play it, I just need to check it with the last song that I played. That's why I keep the last song I played, because it's going to be important. The previous songs don't matter anymore. But the last song is still important. I should check it with the new song that I'm gonna play. If they're okay with each other, I will be playing to enable this song. So I can go to that state. And I will also always be possible to add this song and don't play it. I will consider all of this. So is the definition of DP now clear? Yeah, I can also make an example about the transition. For example, let me use this example again. Okay, did you understand the definition of DP and why this DP is equal to 2? Now from this DP I want to update other DPs. Okay, so first I made this DP, and I know that this is 2. Now from this one I want to update other one. I have a 4 on all the possible. I'll have a 4 on all the possibilities. Yeah, I'm just trying to use bitmask on problem G. I explain it again. I'm using bitmask on problem G. I have a 4 on all the possible subsets of the songs, and I have a 4 over all the possible last songs that I have to I could play. I mean that this means that, for example, this one means that I have played the song number 0 and the song number 2, and the last song that I played was song number 0. Okay, so I only consider these songs, this subset of songs, and I remove some of them, I skip some of them, and I play some of them. And the last song that I played was this one, this song that I played. Okay, that is the last song that I played. And what I can say in here is that when I want to do the transition, when the parameters are dp of mask and I. Mask means a subset, a subset of the songs, and I means that what is the last song that I've played. So I should definitely be in mask because I only consider the song in the mask. If I is not in the mask, then this dp is not a valid state. This state is not a valid state. Okay? If I is not in the mask, then this state is not a valid state. So I have this dp of mask and I, and then for example from this state, my state has the subset, the mask, and the I, the last song that I played. For example, I want to add this song number 3. So my new mask is gonna be 1101. This is gonna be my new mask. This is gonna be my new mask, right? So my new mask is gonna be 1101. And I have two choices. Either when I add this song number 3, either I'll play it or I'll skip it. Well, first, if I wanna play it, I see that I cannot play song number 3 after song number 0. So this will not happen. This is my if that I checked. If I can play it after the last thing I played. I know that in this state, the last song I played was song number 0. So now right after that, I cannot play song number 3. So that's not possible. So for sure, I will skip it. So I will for sure go to the new state 1101 and still 0. Still the last song that I played was 0. And this dp will be 2 as well. Okay? It doesn't mean that this dp is exactly equal to 2. It means that I say that this dp will be equal to the maximum of itself right now. What the maximum of itself is right now, I just have it maximum with 2. So if it is less than 2, I make it 2. Okay. Okay, so that's it. So this way I can do the transition. But if my state was 0, 1, 0, 1, let me write it again. 0, 1, 0, 1. If my set was this 0, 1, 0, 1 and 2. Okay, it means that I played the song number 0 and the song number 2, and the last song that I played was song number 2. Well, I know that again this dp is also 2 because I can first play song number 0 and then I play song number 2, and they can come after each other because the writers are the same. Now, if I want to do the transition to this state 1101, then here when the third song, the song number 3 will be added, then I can also play this one as well because this can come after song number 2. Both of them have the genre of pop. So it can be played. So I can update dp of 1101 and 3 with 2 plus 1. This will be max equal to this dp that I had plus 1. 2 plus 1. Okay. So one case is that I add this song and I will play it. And one case is also that I will add this song and I won't play it. In that case, I'm gonna have 1101. And still the last song I played was 2, and this will be max equal to 2. So if it is already less than 2, I will make it 2. That's all I'm doing in my code. So that's all why I came here. I blacked out. Okay, this is exactly what I'm doing in my code. In this if, I say that if not of mask and to the I, it means that this DP is not valid. Then in here, when I add A, I want to add a new song. Definitely this new song should not be in the mask. And then my new mask is going to be mask plus 2 to the J. And then if math of I and J, it means that I can play J as well. So DP of L mask and J max equal to DP of mask and I plus 1. And then DP of L mask and I is equal max equal to DP of mask and I. And the answer will be the maximum of DP of mask and I over all possible pairs of mask and I. And my final answer is going to be n minus n. We can always use I as the last song in mask. We can always do that, but that might just not be optimal. Because in the worst case scenario, I can remove all the other songs except I, and I just play I. Then DP of mask and I will be 1. DP of mask and I just means that what is the maximum number of songs that I can play if the last song that I play is I. So in the worst case scenario, it might not be optimal, it might be 1. So that's okay. If it's not optimal, it will not update the other DPs. It will not be good enough to update the other DPs, and that's okay. So it is always possible that the last played song will be I, if I is in the mask. It just might be non-optimal. Right? For example, if I have 3 songs like AA, AB, and BA, these are the names, these are the genres. Sorry, these are the genres, these are the names of the writer. These are the genres, these are the names of the writer. For example, in here, DP of 1, 1, 1, and 0, and DP of 1 on 1 and 1, and DP of 1, 1, 1, and 2, if I consider these 3 elements, these 3 values, DP of 1, 1, 1, and 1 is gonna be 3. Because if this is my state that I considered all the song and the last song I played was this one, then I can play all of them. Maybe I can first play this one, then this one, then this one. So I can play all of them. So this one is 3. DP of 1, 1, and 2 is also 3. I can first play AB, then AA, then BA. This one is also 3. But 1, 1, 1, and 0, I know that the last one is this. So the previous one is either one of these 2. But if I choose any of them, then I cannot choose the other one of them before that. So this DP is gonna be 2. So if the last song that I played is 0, then my DP is gonna be 2. But if the last one is 1 or 2, these DPs are 3. So if I consider these 3 songs, it's not optimal to choose AA as the last song. But I just calculate that, okay, what if I put it as the last song? What happens? Even if it's not useful, it won't update the values of DPs. Is that clear? I'm able to solve higher rated problem example, then I will be able to automatically solve some low rate. It's not always like that. It's not always like that. If you solve problems from difficulty 1500, then definitely you will be able to solve all the problems with difficulty 1300. That's not always the case. It's possible that maybe you're not as good as another topic in some topic. For example, in some topic, you're not as good as some other topic. Then it is possible that even though this topic, you see a simpler problem that most people have solved them, but you cannot solve it. But the other one is in the topic that you have the strength, you have your strength in the other one, so you can solve that one with difficulty 1500. You know what I'm talking about? That's why you have to solve many problems. For example, you have to solve, if you want to solve all of the possible 1300 problems, you should solve so many 1300 problems. Yes, you should have a 4 on mask from the smallest mask to the biggest mask. Because before some mask, you have to know the DPs of all its submasks. You know, before a mask, for example, like before this n mask, I have to calculate mask and update n mask so that when I reach n mask, I can use the value of n mask. You know, the order is important. You have to do it from the smallest subset to the largest subset. I hope that this live stream was useful for you. Let me make myself bigger. If you're okay with that. If you have a question about this one, if you still have a question, you might ask. Otherwise, let me make myself bigger. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, like always, if you want to give me some feedback, you can give some number from 0 to 10, as 0 being the lowest and 10 be the highest for a rating of this live stream, how much it helps you, and give me some suggestions in order to improve it for you. And as I said, I have planned to cover all the possible topics in competitive programming in here, so I hope that you use that. And you can always tell me your suggestions about what topics do you want me to talk about. You can join our LinkedIn page. You can follow our LinkedIn page, and in there we have some votes. We sometimes have votes that like which topic or which difficulty you want me to cover, and in there you can have your votes, and then I will see that which one has the most vote, and I'll definitely consider that. So feel free always. You can also say this in Discord or any other place or in YouTube comments or direct message. Tell me that which topics do you want me to cover, and I will try to cover those ones. Why are we doing if I modulo x is 0 in D? Well, because I should be divisible by x in that problem. You know, in that problem we want to write x, we want to write I as the product of some numbers, right? We want to write it as the product of some numbers. So x cannot be there if I is not divisible by x. X cannot be there if I is not divisible by x. It's not possible that x times something is equal to I, right? Can you share the LinkedIn link? Yeah, sure. I shared it in. I've shared it in the YouTube page, but let me also send it here. Let me. Oh, my phone is not in a good state. Well, the LinkedIn page found it. Fine. Let me also send you the link of the Discord page. Let me copy this message at all. Yeah, these are the links to the Discord page and the LinkedIn page. You can join both. In both of them, you can say that which topics do you want me to cover and which difficulty you want me to cover. Sometimes, as I said, we have some polls in there such that we ask you for your votes, that which topics do you want us to cover more and what do you want us to do mostly. So you can say your opinion there always. And as I said, you can tell me your opinion in here or any other place. Can you explain for n equal to 1001 for problem D? You know, for problem D, I save all the binary decimal numbers. So in that problem, for example, 1001, that number is a binary decimal itself. So when I have a 4 in BD, one of them is itself. So when I see that I is 1001, and when X is also 1001, because it is one of the binomials, so my X will be 1001 as well. I see that I modulo X is 0, and I divided by X is 1. So, and dp of 1 I know is 1. So dp of I will be 1 as well. So I will answer yes to that question. So that would work, right? Do you have any other questions about this problem? Any of these problems of the contest? Okay, if there are no other questions, then I will see you very soon in my next live streams. I try to release Omnic trailer very soon. Make sure to watch that. That is very, very useful and very funny also. It was very interesting. I really myself enjoyed that interview. And make sure to follow the DP playlist. I'm gonna solve many problems from different difficulties. I solved 2000 plus difficulty problems, 1500 plus difficulty problems, and also 1000 plus difficulty problems. I will start solving them as well because many people are gonna need that. So make sure to watch that, and if you had any comments about that, any suggestions about that, you can always say, you can always give me feedback. I would definitely appreciate it. And I will also try to have some more guidelines. Yeah, you should participate in Codeforces contests in order to get rated. So if you have participated in the last contest, then after a few days you will have your rating, your initial rating, and then you can try to increase your rating. And I will also try to have more live streams, not only for solution discussion of contests, but also some live streams for some guidelines, maybe talking with you, looking at your Codeforces profiles, etc. And tell you my suggestions, the suggestions that I think might be helpful for you. So I hope that we will start doing that soon as well. Some live streams just for talking, for guidelines and my advices. And most of my advices are the things that myself also heard about great people, the greatest competitive programmers, and I tried them as well, and I saw that yeah, it really works better than the others. So I will talk about them. For pupil, you don't need to learn any specific topic, you just need to solve so many problems. So sort Codeforces by difficulty and try to solve many problems. So especially if you want to solve some special tags, still solve implementation, brute force, and math. In both pupil and newbie, these topics are very important. You don't really need to learn more topics. Just solve more problems from lower difficulties. Can I reach expert if I fully solve this contest live? Yeah. If you keep not only for this contest, for this one contest, but if you solve problems at this level, for many contests, you repeat this. You repeat doing it. You solve problems at this level. If for many contests you repeat doing this, yes, you can reach experts. You can simply reach expert. So for example, you can start by trying to solve all the problems of this contest. I mean, I'm implementing all the problems of this contest. That would definitely be helpful. And in long run, you can reach experts. Can you use this test case as example in D and explain only N, only if you got time? Well, I don't have the code on my computer because I edited the same code for all of the problem. I just used the same file, but maybe I can use this, do this in here. So T is 1 and 14, 6, 41. So it's yes. I guess it's 101. What is this number exactly? How can my code is saying that there is a way to make it, and I guess it is always possible as well, but maybe you can tell us that's what you were looking for for this test case. So basically in this code, what I'm doing is to just try all the binary decimal numbers. I just try all of them. For each I have a for on all the possible binary decimal numbers, and if I modulo x was 0, I can say that dp of I or equal to dp of I divided by x. Okay, it is element to the power of 4. Yeah, that works because 14641 will use the dp of 14641 divided by 11. This dp will use this dp, and this dp itself will use this dp itself divided by 11, and this one also uses this dp, and so on. This one also uses this one, which is 1. So first I set this one equal to 1, and because this one is 1, this one will become 1, and because this one is 1, this one will become 1, and because this one is 1, this one will become 1, and because this one is 1, this one will become 1. So all of them will be okay. What topic we need to learn to get candidate master level proficient solving any specific topic which will help me reach there easily? You can't reach there easily. You have to train a lot. You have to solve many problems, definitely, but the most important thing is dynamic programming. Dynamic programming is by far the most important one, especially in order to reach candidate master. So as I said, that's why I preferred to cover dynamic programming first, because I personally believe that that one is the most important one. I recommend you to follow dynamic programming playlists. As I said, I solved many problems there. Try to watch all of them. Try to watch them completely. You know, I mean, don't, for example, go out in the middle of it. Sometimes in the middle of the videos, I want you to pause the video and think about some parts. That would be very useful. And also you yourself, if you want, at any place, you can pause the video and start thinking about it. But try to watch it completely and hear everything. And completely comprehend the idea. And then close the video, don't look at it anymore, and just implement it all by yourself without seeing the video anymore. So once, with focus, watch the video, pause any place that you want to pause and think about it yourself. When you have some ideas yourself, you can pause it and start thinking yourself, and then you close the video and you just start implementing it. Yeah, I think that's gonna be useful for you. Where we can learn CP. Right now there are some sources like USACO guide. USACO guide is very helpful, but as I saw, there's no excellent source, and that's why I started this YouTube channel. So my dream What I'm trying to do is to make an excellent place to learn competitive programming from zero, from nothing to hero, to everything. I want to cover every topic in a year. So maybe in 5 or 6 months, this channel is gonna be the best place to learn competitive programming, and I will cover all the things. But if you want to read text, Yusaku Guide is there for you. You can read text right now from Yusaku Guide. That's good. That's not awesome, but Yusaku Guide is useful. It's helpful. That helps. Since when are you doing competitive programming? Do you have a list of problems? I'm doing competitive programming since 9 years ago, when I was in high school. When I came to the high school, I started competitive programming here. But my last rated contest was 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, 2020. So I mostly teach competitive programming now, and right now, because I'm participating in ICBC, I'm starting all over again to in order to get good again, and maybe also try to become LGM. Right now I'm international grandmaster, but I have planned to become LGM maybe soon. So that's basically what I want to do. If your rating is 900, to begin with, you have to do brute force, implementation, and mathematics. Thanks a lot, you're such a gem. Here are all my doubts, even thoughts I asked 1,000 of them. Thank you very much, you're really kind. Thank you. I'm so happy that I helped you. You know, these messages really motivates me to continue this. Thank you. To reach higher level. Again, still you need to solve more problems. If you are 1300, I recommend you to solve so many. If your rating is 1300, I right now recommend you to solve so many problems with difficulty 1100 and 1200. This is what I recommend you. Solve many problems with difficulty 1100 and 1200, because maybe there are still some such problems that you can't solve. Try to solve so many of them, so many problems this way, with this difficulty. And then after a while, solving problems at this difficulty is not a big deal for you. And then you won't receive a negative rating anymore. And you will start to grow massively. You know, it's very weird, but when your rating is 1300 and you keep solving so many 1100 and 1200 problems, you are gonna go forward. I mean, your rating will improve massively, really. So I recommend you to do that. But I want to learn from you. Please teach us. Yeah, sure. I will continue to make videos about all the possible topics, especially if I see that people find that helpful. I will definitely do that. I will try to cover everything in CP. I mean, right now there are so many people who are making educational packages for CP, for competitive programming, and you have to buy them, and the price of them is, for example, $2,000 or $1,500. So someone should pay $2,000 in order to learn CP. Well, that's stupid, really. I mean, who can do that? I wanna make a place that you can watch that and learn all of it from the beginning to the end for free. And I hope I can do that in a good way. And I hope that you get benefit from it. Any prerequisite for solving E question? For E, no. For E, there's no important thing. You should just know that the number of divisors of n is root of n in the base of 3. You can watch the live stream. I mean, the live stream is recorded and it will be as a video in the channel, so you can watch that again from the beginning. So you should just know that the number of divisors of a number n is limited. Did you get to ICOC World Final? As I said, our current round is NAC, North America Championship. All the universities from USA, from the United States and Canada will participate in them. For example, all the universities. And if we perform well there, then we will qualify to World Final. We will qualify to the World Final. So our next round, in the first round, we won 3 regions and we qualified to the NAC. And now in the NAC, if we perform well, we will qualify to the World Final. So, and NAC is in late May, is in around 2 months from now. Why are your views of Devin AI and about it taking away the jobs or future AI as in general? Well, I think I don't have the enough expertise to talk about this at the moment, but I will definitely interview some people who have expertise and I will hear their thoughts, and that will also give me some intuition about it as well. Maybe I will discuss this with some competitive programmers who are working in these areas and who are making this. Maybe I will interview with Demi Gu. She is the co-founder and the CEO of Pika, I think. And she's really doing a great job. She's an incredible person. I really want to interview her. I haven't talked with her yet, but I have this plan for future. And also with Scott Wu and some other great competitive programmers who are in this industry and are doing great things. And we will see what they say first. They have more expertise, they've worked more in this area, and they know more about it. And I will also find more intuition there. I'm Irish specialist today. I only know binary search prefix sums. I want to learn some advanced topics. What should I learn from? Where should I learn? I recommend you to start solving more dynamic programming problems. It's not necessary to learn more topics at this stage. It's not necessary. First, try to solve so many problems. I had the interview with Omrik and I really recommend you to watch that as well. And we exactly discussed about it. You don't have to just start learning so many complicated data structures and algorithms. You just need to solve so many problems. If you want, you can do that. You can use Yusaku guides or search in Google. You can learn advanced topics and advanced data structures. But I recommend you not do that. Just try to solve more problems first. And you will enjoy that a lot as well. So I recommend you, if it is me, if you want to ask my recommendation, I'm saying that yes, you can do that. You can go and learn it from Yusaku guide or someone like that. But I recommend you to learn to solve more problems from dynamic programming. I recommend you to follow the dynamic programming series that I'm making. The problem solvings of dynamic programming. I think that's gonna be useful. Math background definitely helps. It's very important and you should still improve your math. You can maybe solve mathematical problems in Codeforces, problems with tag math. You can simply go to problem set and it can be very useful at the beginning to improve your math. First, you can see that which kind of math is useful in competitive programming and solve them. And of course, if you have some background in graph theory, in combinatorics, that would definitely help. That would definitely be useful. Ooh. Would you please review my today's e-solution? I think it's a little bit late right now, but I promise you I will do that. Maybe in one of the live streams that I will have. Maybe I will try to maybe even have a live stream in this future 7 days, in this future week that is coming. And I promise you that I will review your code there. But right now, because it's a bit late, I think I can't do this right now. Where are you from? I'm originally from Iran. I'm from Iran. Right now, I live in the USA, in the United States. I go to a university here. I go to the University of Maryland. Would you please... I didn't get the name of the resource you mentioned in CV. Can you mention it in the chat? Yeah, sure. Yusako Guide. And you can also use Google. Just Google the topics you want. If you want to solve them, you can just here add tag. For example, you want to solve dynamic programming, you should add tag dynamic programming, DP. And then source them by the difficulty. As I said, if you want, you can also use the playlist that I'm making and solve those problems. The best way to use those videos is to just pause them whenever needed and start thinking about it. Whenever you have an idea, start thinking about it. Watch them completely. Watch them till the end and hear everything, because I try to tell you many important things in those videos. And make sure to watch them completely. I mean, don't think that, okay, I understood and let's move on. It's really important to don't miss a point that I'm trying to say. And that would also help you a lot. And I know that right now I don't have enough videos. There are so many few videos. Maybe there are only 10 videos in the dynamic programming playlist as of now. But I will try to add 2 or 3 more videos each week. And there would be more and more videos over time. Make sure to watch them, don't miss them. And also, you can yourself solve so many problems there. You can join our Discord server and chat with the others in there. Ask for problems there. People can suggest problems there. We have a bot. We have TLE bots in there. That bot also gives you problems, DP problems, or any other problems from any difficulty. It can give you problems. And just start solving so many of these problems. Codeforces, definitely. Between CodeChef, Codeforces, and LeetCode, if you want to increase your Codeforces rating, definitely Codeforces is the most useful one for you. Most of my audience, I think there was a comment, most of my audience are Indian. Yeah, I'm proud of that. I respect all the people, and it's so good if Indian people like this channel and they follow this channel. That would be awesome. Thank you very much, all the Indian people who support this channel and follow it, and all the other people from all the different nations. Guys, can you tell me from which country you are, so that I know that from where my audience are? All of you are from India? From Bangladesh. Thank you very much, brother. I try to explain them in the simplest way. For example, 1500 you will definitely watch. You can try that and see. I believe that if you watch 1500 problems, you can understand. Maybe you need to watch some parts twice, and that's completely okay. I mean, learning everything is like that. I myself sometimes learn some things in Udemy, and I watch videos to learn things on Udemy, and some parts I see them maybe twice or 3 times until I fully comprehend what they're saying. And that's completely okay. But yeah, I believe that, and maybe even 2000 you can understand it, because I try to choose the problems that don't need any specific advanced algorithms, but there are beautiful ideas and everybody can understand. Okay, India, Russia, USA, Egypt. Can you make a group in CF and put problems there for us? That's a good idea. That's a good idea, to make a group in CF and put problems there. Yeah, I can do that. That's a good idea. Thank you for this. India, Kazakhstan, India, awesome, awesome. So it's diversified. Well, most of my supporters are from India, and I thank them for that. And it's also awesome to see people from the other countries who are there. It's awesome to see this diversity. Yeah. Do we have anyone from Iran? My own country, my own home country. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. So I will try to have the live stream where I will talk with you very soon. I will try to add more videos, DP videos, and even the other videos, the interviews, etc. And I think I'll see you soon. Will you go back to Iran again? Yes, definitely. I don't know when can I come back to Iran. I don't know when. I don't know when is the next time that I'm gonna visit Iran. But yeah, definitely for the rest of my life, I will definitely visit Iran again. Awesome. Relax. Yes. I will try to time step streams. Yeah. I will try to do that. Sure. Okay, guys, thank you very much. See you. So that was so great that you watched this live stream till the end. Thank you very much. Again, if you want, you can put your rating in here. I mean not CF rating. I mean some number from 0 to 10. That how much you enjoyed and used this live stream. That would definitely help us to know what is going and what is your opinion about things and how is everything going. That would definitely help us. And I'll see you soon. So, can I have a question? Yeah. Ask your question. For some tips, only able to do 3. Please provide some tips. Only able to do 3. I didn't understand it. Well, thank you very much, Shivam, for your suggestion. Definitely, I will try to make more interaction. Thank you very much. Saying these things is very helpful. It's very helpful and useful. Thank you very much for giving me this suggestion. Yeah, I will think about that. I will think about how can I increase the interaction in live streams. I will definitely try to do that. My rating is 1200. Do you have any recommendation for me? How can I get to expert? If you are 1200, for now focus on solving problems with difficulty 1000 and 1100. Try to first solve problems with this difficulty right now. That's the main thing that I believe you have to do right now. And when you reach 1400, 1500, you can then start working on DP. Then DP is gonna be the most important topic that you're gonna work on. So for now, just try to solve so many problems. You can also follow the DP videos as well and see if you're completely okay with them. I think you will understand them, but the most important training for you right now is to solve so many problems. So many easy problems, so many problems with difficulty around 1000, 11,000, etc. Thank you very much. How did you level up? Exactly the way that I'm telling you to level up. If you see my rating, the thing that I keep repeating is to solve so many problems. As I said, in here, I was a newbie. in here, I won the 4th rank of a div2 contest. You know, let me remove the unofficials. In here, I won the 4th. I completely remember this contest. I completely remember it. It is maybe 2 months after I was newbie. You know, here is June, and here is March. So it's not 2 months, it's more. Maybe it's 4 months, around 4 months. So 3 or 4 months, around that. And I was in newbie in here, and here I won the 4th place of div2. And then I continued to grow until here. And then after that, then I couldn't train a lot. I didn't have enough time. I had to do many other things. So, but still, I had some growth. And maybe right now I want to start again and maybe have my final growth and reach LGM now. But yeah, after 4 years, I want to start participating in contests again and maybe try to improve again. But yeah, in this period, in these 3 or 4 months, I solved many easy problems, many easy problems. And I believe that was very useful. From newbie, solve the problems by their difficulty. Just go to the problem set. I told you most of this in my videos about newbies. 5 things that you have to do and 5 things that you should not do. I completely explain how to do that. But you come here, sort the problems by the difficulty and start solving them. Start from the beginning and keep solving them. Right here you see that all of these are not green. But this is because new problem has been added. But at the time at that time, there wasn't even the difficulty sheet. There was only the number of people who have solved the problem. And I solved all of the first few pages. I solved all of them. These problems that you see that I haven't solved, these are all the new problems. These problems were not there at the time. So at the time, I think I solved, almost all the problems from the 5 first pages. Maybe in total there was maybe 1 problem in each page that I didn't solve. I've solved almost all. And that was basically the most important thing that I did. Yes, CP is definitely helpful in your interviews in FA, ANG companies. Definitely. You can do that. You can definitely do that. As I said, you can just do what I did in this period. I told you, in this period, for example, even if you see this contest, this is just maybe 2 or 3 contests after I was a newbie. I had plus 254. I won the rank of 369 in here. And I had plus 254. If you see, the most important thing I did in this contest is to just, I had solved so many easy problems, and in this contest I just solved the first 2 problems very fast. I mean, compared to my level at that time, maybe not compared to all the competitive programs, because many did solve them faster, but compared to my level at that time, I solved these problems very fast. Because I solved so many problems, I was so in shape. That's the most important thing. First, try to solve problem without any filters. Just sort them by their difficulty. First, try to do that. And then, after a while, you can just focus on implementation, brute force, and math. Okay? Karim, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So guys, I will definitely talk with you very soon. I will definitely do a live stream. Make sure to watch that one as well. I look forward to see you there as well. So I'll see you very soon. We will talk a lot more in this, and I will try to tell you everything that might be useful for you, definitely. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching me till now. I'll see you very soon. Goodbye for now.